Here's a list of topics that we're going to cover in this review. Hi, this is Dave from Steel City Drones Flight Academy. Today we're really excited because we're going to bring you our new M200, M210, and M210 RTK system reviews. Now this series contains 3 different models of the MATRICE M200. So what we have here is we have the M200, we have the M210, and also the M210 RTK systems. So 3 different models in this new series. We're going to be using this in our Flight Academy, and we're going to be offering training courses for our students that want to be able to use this. So the very first thing we're going to talk about is construction. The construction of these units is absolutely outstanding. For those of you that have seen the M600 review that I did, the one thing that I don't like about the M600 is the quality, the actual construction. To me, it was very flimsy, and for that kind of money, not acceptable for commercial applications. But with the M200 and the M210 series, they really made a very good improvement. To start off with, the construction of the frame is much improved. You don't see anything really thin, anything flimsy, everything. This is just built really solid, and this is going to work actually very well in law enforcement, construction, commercial type of applications very well, where this thing is going to be taken in and out of the case a lot. One of our favorite features of this aircraft is the prop design and how the prop actually latches on to the aircraft. You just push down and you lock it in place and you're done. It's that simple. Another great feature of this is that you cannot install the wrong prop on the wrong motor. So for example, on any other aircraft, you can go ahead and actually put the wrong propeller on the aircraft if you're not paying attention. This will prevent you from actually locking it in place if it's not the correct propeller, which is an awesome feature. The M200 series is water resistant. And again, now that's not waterproof, that's water resistant. That means the M200 and M210 series frames can actually be flown in light rain. Now, I want to make sure that you understand is that the cameras, there's no camera that is water resistant or waterproof. The MATRICE 200 series has a lot of similarities to the Inspire 2 platform. Now, the Inspire 2 platform is a serious filmmaking aircraft, but there are a lot of similarities between the two. To start with, they both use dual battery configurations. In fact, the M200 can actually use the Inspire TB50 batteries. As another improvement, DJI actually made a larger battery. It's called the T55 batteries. So you may be saying, why didn't they just make the TB55s the standard size, especially when you're going to get more flight time with the larger battery? Well, there's a very good reason for that. The TB50s are the largest size that you can take on and carry on in an unlimited quantity. So if you're going to be doing a large job and you have to go fly somewhere, and you want to take 8 sets of batteries with you, you can do that with the TB50s. The TB55s, according to the TSA, they're going to limit the quantity to 2. Another way that the MATRICE 200 compares to the Inspire 2 is with the camera selection. The MATRICE 200 accepts the X4S camera and the X5S camera, whereas the MATRICE 600 only will fly the regular X5 and an X5 RAW. So with being able to use the X5S, you can get better, higher resolution pictures if you want to use that camera for the platform. Many of our customers get confused by which drone is compatible with the different cameras. To start with, the M600 is compatible with both the FLIR XT thermal camera and the Z30 optical zoom camera, but it's not compatible with the X5S or X4S. The Inspire 1 is compatible with the XT, but not the Z30 or the X4S or X5S. And lastly, the Inspire 2 is not compatible with either the XT or Z30. The M200 series is the only camera in the DJI line compatible with both the XT and Z30 that's in a small
portable size, which is crucial for many applications like law enforcement.
So let's talk about some of the differences between these three different models. So the M200 allows you to be able to use one camera underneath. You can only use one camera at a time, and you can only use it in the bottom configuration. Now for the M210, you can use one camera on the bottom, or you can use two cameras on the bottom. You can also mount one camera on top of it, and that is outstanding because that allows you now to be able to really do inspection work and be able to point the camera straight up for like bridge inspections and other things that you would not have been able to do otherwise. This is the first camera of its nature that's for commercial purposes, not filmmaking, commercial purposes, that you can actually mount a camera on the top. So that's really outstanding for if you want to use a Z30 or an X5S with a zoom lens and you want to be able to do bridge inspections, for example.
When in dual camera configuration, the M210 has the ability to switch back and forth between camera feeds instantly. The M210 also has a sync mode, which allows for both cameras to remain synced when making pan or tilt adjustments. This feature is extremely handy when you want to compare camera feeds without needing to reframe, such as switching between a thermal camera and a traditional video camera for roof inspections.
So let's talk about some of the advantages of actually why you'd want to actually go with the 210 besides what we talked about. DJI now throws in a high bright crystal sky monitor and also the DJI Sendence remote. So we've actually done a full video on the DJI Sendence remote. So we want to make sure, we're not going to go into that right here, but if you really want an in-depth review on the Sendence remote, please check it out. This remote and this high bright monitor and a set of TB55s now comes stock with the M210 series. That's over a $2,000 value. A new feature that we're really excited about in all three of these aircraft is DJI's feature called Airsense. It has an ADS receiver built into them. Now what that means is if there's another nearby aircraft, manned aircraft such as a helicopter or an airplane nearby, you'll see that'll give you the warning and show you on the map where it is. Helicopters can come out of nowhere at any point, and being able to have that little warning in there is it's a godsend for flyers like myself.
So let's talk about overall flight performance. We have flown all three models in all different types of conditions, such as warm but windy Florida and cold and snowy Pennsylvania. We used it for cell tower inspections, power line inspections, and just regular video filming. All three models flew extremely well in testing. None of the three models flew as smooth as our M600, but then again, the M600 is the smoothest drone we have ever flown, and the M200 series is not designed for filmmaking. This series is designed for commercial applications where stability is the main focus, and it hit the mark perfectly. The only thing we would have liked to see would be the ability for the landing gear to retract. We think the aircraft would have flown better with its landing gear up.
So this model right here is the actual M210 RTK system. The M210 RTK system is the commercial grade GPS system that's very precise. Unlike most copters that have a consumer grade GPS system. It can stay within position hold within 2 centimeters of accuracy. RTK also uses a ground station. So the ground station is what actually gets all of the satellites in the sky and brings them down. So the RTK system, the two pucks on the aircraft, triangulate with the actual ground station unit. This ground station unit has a significant improvement over the M600 RTK system. The M210 RTK system can actually fly just normal like an M200. You don't need to use the RTK system or the ground station. All you have to do is go in the app and go ahead and turn off the RTK system with a single switch. Where we find this to really benefit clients is in two different environments. One, for wind. In wind, this system also really shines over a regular consumer grade GPS system. And especially it shines on the Z-axis for altitude hold. We've only seen it probably move maybe 4 or 5 inches in a really good 15 to 20 mile wind gust. The stock barometer sensor and most drones is going to go up and down, and we've seen a Phantom 4 drop as much as 6 to 7 feet in altitude on a wind gust. And that's with any system that uses consumer grade GPS, which is just about everything on the market. All the rest of the DJI line, anything else you can think of has consumer grade GPS. This has it, this doesn't. I can honestly say that the M210 and both the M200 are outstanding flyers. They are both outstanding in the wind, regardless of the RTK system. You would have a hard time just by looking up in the air which aircraft was which in the wind. Now, so besides the wind, where this really shines is in a lot of metal environments, like bridges, railroad systems, industrial parks that have steel mills, anything like that where you're going to be surrounding a lot of metal. I mean, I've tried to do jobs in the past where the aircraft wouldn't even take off because it said there was so many magnetic errors. So that eliminates this. And that really allows you to be able to fly in just about any type of environment. This is also really critical when you're trying to fly around high tension power lines, because the high tension power lines produces a lot of electromagnetic interference as well. And that's what can cause issues with this. One thing that we don't like about the ground station is if you use a TB50 for the Matrice series, there's a less clearance, less tolerance on there that makes it tighter. We actually put one in this ground station and had a heck of a time trying to get it out. You had to wiggle it just ever so slightly. It took 20 minutes to get it to remove. If you use an Inspire 2 TB50 battery for this ground station, it has a little more tolerance, just enough that you need, and that works out really well. So when we were actually testing the M210 RTK system, we had some bugs with it where we couldn't get it to fly. So we were actually trying to use this aircraft in non-RTK mode. We were actually flying near power lines for some footage and some testing for this aircraft. Well, in non-RTK mode, it didn't like it. The aircraft started wandering around, started doing a toilet bowl effect, and we were starting to get a little worried with it. So we brought it back, landed, put it back in RTK mode, went back up, and had no problems. So while talking about the RTK system, let's talk about some of the limitations that it does have. For starters, a lot of people think that a system like this can eliminate ground control points, or actually at least reduce the amount of ground control points needed for mapping projects. That simply cannot be done. So the data from this system cannot be written to a memory card on the camera. You are limited to getting the data from the consumer grade side of this aircraft written to that camera. There's no way around it. So if you're trying to use this for mapping and surveying and try to eliminate ground control points, this is not the aircraft for that application. Okay, for the M200, M210 series, let's talk about setup and how easy it is to be able to get flying. Unfortunately, I'm not sure why DJI doesn't make any type of tutorial videos, but I think they would be very helpful to those that are not familiar with setting up a piece of equipment like this. There are a few more steps than the average drone, such as firmware for the batteries, firmware for each of the type of the cameras that you have to use, going in and being familiar with the Assistant 2, doing all that. It's not overly complicated, but if you've never done it before and you're not too technically inclined, I would still say that it's best to have someone help you set it up. But for the most part, it is rather straightforward and not overly complicated to get it going. So let's talk about the shipping cases, the travel cases that come with this aircraft. I have to say, we're extremely disappointed in the quality of the stock case. I don't think that anybody would like to use this stock case. And you would think that for the kind of money that our customers are paying for these aircraft, they would give it a quality case. So if you are interested in buying one of these aircraft, please make sure that you're going to go ahead and budget probably about $700 to $800 to get a quality shipping case. Now, if you look at the Go Professional case, it is outstanding. For example, the aircraft fits right in the case without having to fold the booms together again. You don't want to have to, when you're going to go out and use this aircraft, you don't want to be fiddling with trying to assemble this thing together in bits and pieces. So it's just really good that this thing just slips right down in there. All you have to do is add the landing gear and you're up and running. The Go Professional case has so many pouches, so many different compartments for everything, all the accessories that you could want. There's a lot of different compartments, there's a lot of different slots for all the accessories that you could ever want. There's even different cutouts for the different type of cameras, and the cameras come in different size boxes. So it even has provision for those different cases that come in the cameras. That's all we're going to be recommending to our customers. So if you are in a market for that, please make sure that you understand that the Go Professional case is an extra expense that you have to account for. So let's talk a little bit about pricing. So pricing varies greatly depending upon what model you're going to get and what features you're going to get. Everybody's a little bit different, so I can't tell you that this aircraft's going to cost X amount of money or this aircraft is going to cost this X amount of money, because while there's 3 different models and there's 5, 6, 7 different features, and depending upon all the things that accessories that you're going to want to buy, it can vary greatly. So with that said, I think I can honestly say to you guys, we give this a 9 out of 10 score, which is better than our M600 series, which probably averages out to about 8.5. All 3 are outstanding. The stability is amazing. These aircraft are going to be our main go-to commercial grade drones for our commercial applications. We're going to be using this in a lot of different things, not only in our flight school, but our actual drone acquisition service side. This system really does what it's designed to do, and then some. Steel City Drones Flight Academy offers complete training solutions for the DJI M200 series drones. We offer on-site training at your location anywhere in the United States. We also offer complete drone integration programs to get your organization up and running from start to finish. For more information, contact us directly for a free consultation. We're in Fort Myers, Florida, and I'm really happy to have with me my good friend and colleague, Michael McVeigh from Florida Drone Supply. And we're going to be talking about our partnership that we're doing to help bring our Flight Academy students the best service possible and the best pricing when you're ready to go out and get drones or drone equipment itself. So to start off with, I've known Michael for probably close to 10 years now. We started going way back together, and when we were trying to homemade build drones before there were any ready-to-fly solutions out there. He's an architectural photographer, and he also has his own drone business and he has drone operators that work for him as well. What I really love about Florida Drone Supply is that they're out there testing this stuff just like I do, and they're not going to go ahead and sell anything that doesn't make sense or is not worth it. For our premium members, you get 5% off on any drone purchase through Florida Drone Supply. And that is a huge thing, because if you're trying to make a huge investment, if you're trying to buy $5,000, $10,000 worth of equipment and you're trying to really step up your business, 5% of that is a significant savings. What I also want to talk about, with Michael here, and I want you to also explain this too as well, is that you have to be really careful with who you buy from, because if you buy from a third-party source, you know, you're taking chances because you're not going to get your warranty with that. Would you like to explain how that works?
Sure. Yep. Well, first of all, you always have to make sure that you buy from an authorized dealer. In order to have warranty coverage, you have to purchase from an authorized dealer. So first and foremost, make sure of that. Second, there's lots of great vendors out there to buy your equipment from. You know, people look to the big box electronics stores, people look to the big camera stores, and they're great vendors. We've bought a lot of cameras and lenses from places like that, but we specialize in the drones. And what we do for our clients is when you get your new drone and you get it opened up, you'll probably have questions about how to use it,
right,
how to activate it, how to fly it. And we spend a lot of time making sure that our clients are supported on the drones because we know how to use all of the features. We know how to use all of the apps. We know how to fly all of the drones and what they're all capable of.
Yeah.
So we're there for your members, we're there for our clients, because these are complicated. You know, when you get these machines up in the air for the first time, I mean, you're gonna have a lot of questions, and we're there for you. Anytime you have questions or you need help with getting something set up or activated, we fly them, we know how to support them, and we know everything about them.
Well, that's great. I'm very excited about this partnership together, and I'm really excited that we're able to give you guys this type of level of service and a discount. And again, if you have any questions for either one of us, feel free to reach out to us, and thanks again.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everyone.
Please make sure, if you're not signed up as a Steel City Drones Flight Academy member, you want to join, make sure, and you can take advantage of the extra savings that you can get. So with that said, thanks again for watching, and if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call. Thanks again. If you like this video and like to see more free videos in the future, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And while you're at it, if you're interested in free lessons on how to fly drones, discounts on drone equipment, discounts on insurance, or access to our exclusive drone video library, check out our website, steelcityflightacademy.com.